It would mean the world to him to see Dora one more time. What would they say to each other? Where would they begin? Geoffrey's brown eyes had clouded with time, become roomy and lavender. He pulled out a handkerchief and wiped them. "Will you write again?" he said. Joe pulled out the pad of writing paper. "Dear Mrs. Hummel." Finally there was a reply. The postman brought it up on Friday morning and handed it to Joe. He'd just finished the milking, was about to clean himself up in the caravan. He took the letter, turned it over. The postmark was English, from Richmond. Well, Joe thought, she gets around. He opened the letter. "I must apologise, but I was called away on business." She had no idea of the turmoil she'd caused, otherwise she wouldn't be so casual. "I would still like to talk to you if possible, and will be returning to Jersey in the near future, although at this stage I am unable to give you precise dates. In the meantime, I have another photo relating to this time, and wondered whether you may be able to throw some light on this also." Joe felt it with his fingertips, clipped to the back of the letter. "I do appreciate that the subject of the German occupation is still very sensitive in Jersey and the Channel Islands, so forgive me if I tread on toes. The photograph is that of a German nurse. I can find no trace of her in the records in Germany, though they are incomplete for the Channel Islands. I need to know, however, if she was in Jersey during those years, and wondered whether you may have seen her round and about. I quite understand if you cannot remember that far back, or if I am stirring up unwelcome memories of that time, which I understand were painful for so many islanders. I am already asking perhaps too much of you. Thank you for your time." Joe pulled the picture free, and Trudy's plain, round face stared back at him across the years. Jersey, May to June, 1943. Joe watched the boys file out, their faces hot and sweaty. "Now mind you do those sit-ups," he called after one. "Work on them. Fitness is the key." Nodding at another, "Mind the footwork." Pierre was waiting behind the ring, stepped forward as the last of the boys went out. "Are you all right, Father?" he said. "And why wouldn't I be all right?" Joe looked around the room, making sure the boys had left nothing. Some of them would leave their heads behind if they weren't screwed on. "Only you're working those boys too hard." "Nonsense," Joe said, picking up a boxing glove from the floor. He took off his jacket and slipped the glove over his right hand, clenched his fist and lunged at the punching bag hanging from the beam. The force jarred his wrist. Joe swung his left arm, bare knuckles, into the bag, so the canvas scraped the skin. Right, left, dancing back, light on the toes, pummeling hard, hard, hard. He could feel the sweat building up, the adrenaline surging. He knew the damage it could do, a boxer's fracture or a sprained thumb, twisted joints or tissue damage. Boxing had helped him before, why shouldn't it help him now? The agony would kick in later, as he lay in bed at night, releasing the hurt within, as if the tortures of his flesh could soothe the lash of his conscience. "And Sister Benina said you broke down at Mass this morning," Pierre went on. Joe saw Trudy's face in every woman he passed, heard her song-thrush laughter in every breeze, and felt her gentle hand stroke his own. He had begun to smell her in the convent chapel, the clean, starched apron scent of her, as he said Mass and took the chalice and wiped it clean with the veil. The bag went still as Pierre grabbed the sides and steadied it. "She says you're not yourself. You're moody, silent." Joe knelt down by one of the benches, sweeping his hand underneath. All manner of stuff found its home there, gum shields, socks, shoelaces. "What's going on?" Joe wasn't sure himself what was going on, except that at night when he was alone,